I'm not a racist, preach the teacher. You still they never had this. Number one, them wanna run about the gun. I wasn't licensed to have one. The minute they see me, fear me. I'm the epitome, a public enemy. Use, abuse, without clues. I refuse to blow fuse. They even had it on the news. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Back when I wrote y'all, yes.
All right, let's take Yvette in Maryland. You're on. JL Colvin is here. Roderick Morrow, the black guy who tips.com.
Karen!
Hey, Yvette.
This is Ida Bay from Nubia. I love you guys. So, a couple of things. No, we can't blame black men. Everybody, I didn't realize this until I heard someone talk about black men did show up for Stacey Abrams. It was white women and white men. Only 23% of white men and 27% of white women voted for Stacey Abrams that second time around. Turnout was low in the Democratic strongholds on both sides, men and women. So it wasn't about black men. I do believe black men are going to show up this time around too, because my brothers know that their future, their children's future, their grandchildren's future is on the line, and they are not going to sit at home or vote for Satan to put their children and their lineage back in bondage. That's just not going to happen. Secondly, if Donald Trump gets in office, it's not just going to be, you won't have that large audience. He's going to shut everything down. He will come in view. He's already said he's coming after MSNBC.
Well, this is a publicly traded company, and it would be really wild to get rid of Urban View and have Megyn Kelly and Nimrata and Sean Hannity and everybody that's on the channel that's one up notch from us, or one notch down. I don't even know because I don't listen to it at all. But yeah, that would be an interesting thing, JL. Legally, what to get rid of Urban View when that would be interesting, because I've been petitioning to have them stop using the N-word on all of these music stations, and they're like, free speech. We're not gonna block speech, and I was like, no, I just won't be listening to those. Every time I hear it, I turn. But
well, also I'm gonna have a big audience, because if he wins, I'm switching over. So
that's
I'm
right.
gonna
That's
still
true. That's true.
I'm gonna
That's
get
true.
probably even more listeners.
That's true. You're gonna get Jason Whitlock's listeners.
Exactly. I can make up some stuff about black people. I don't, Beyonce, the music not that good or whatever. Whatever they say over there. I can make it up on the fly. LeBron James not good at basketball. It's always about Larry Bird, and yeah, I'll be rich, so I'm not worried about that part.
I'd like to make that pivot as well, because if I turn, it's like famed Trump impersonator says Democrats never appreciated me, and now I see why Trump is so great. And also, just as a I'm blaming.
Hold on. If you do that, JL, you're gonna have to like really tan up. Because if you go over and they still kind of look at you as a white dude, it's too crowded over there. You're gonna have to really might do a little shoe
blackface.
Might have to polish it up.
No.
Deep tan. I just sun all day, every day.
Okay,
that's all it'll take. But I'm actually blaming. I'd like to say who I'm blaming, because I have to go in a few minutes. But I blame Latin men. I'm not picking on white people or black people. I'm going after Latin men. That's my demo that I'm lecturing.
Okay. What percentage?
So what you gonna say? What you gonna say to
him? Why? Like, you're never going to be white. I know you want to think that supporting the white candidate somehow gives you like a psychological, I'm not a victim, I'm not oppressed, like the way I see too many left-wing black people talking. So if I it's like reverse psychology. By joining the mean hypocritical white people, I am therefore doing better, not a victim. I am like, it's you're not changing anything, but you are making yourself feel like clearly I'm not a victim and I'm not oppressed because I'm joining the oppressors. And if I were oppressed, would I do that? So I think I was only joking, but you made me actually say something real. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's see, I try to be foolish, and all of a sudden it's Serious Saturday with JL.
Serious.
It's you. It's definitely you.
Damn it!
But yeah, it's.
I thought
that's
you were
what I
gonna do
think.
your George Lopez impression. I did.
Well, I'm retiring. I'm retiring from comedy, Rod. So I'm running away. They want us to build a wall. Who's gonna build it? And yeah, he's retiring from comedy. It's a sad day for people who hate punchlines and originality.
Yeah.
Oh
You don't
my
want to see a
goodness.
comedian run for their money, then you're gonna lose out in that demographic.
I actually think
Yeah.
though jail's onto something with the Latinos.
Mhm.
I think you're onto something.
No, that's
And
what
so-
I've honestly always believed that and
So we
and
gotta
once
wag
again,
our
not a
fingers.
monolith, of course, but this is the truth in terms of how we look at the different people of color in this country. Black people have been loyal enough to be lectured when they aren't loyal enough. In terms of like, no, you're baked into the recipe. If you leave, we're really screwed. Whereas Latin people have been able to sort of, and this is great. I mean, nobody should be like taken for granted, but they're in this space where it's like they're talked about much more as this independent, like, why wasn't when Trump is calling Mexicans rapists and drug dealers, why wasn't there an equal, how can you do this? How can you vote for this guy? And there's this treatment of the Latin community of like, well, they don't just care about immigration. And some of them are hardliners because they did it the right way. And I'm like, what do you mean? Cubans who set foot on soil, they do it. If Haitians could set foot on American soil and be grandfathered in as like, platinum level immigrants, like there'd be a different treatment and they might be a different voting block as well. But it's this sort of the Latin community has really been given a lot more leeway, options, and credibility as independent voices. And this isn't me criticizing any Latin people in particular, but they are given a sort of different, maybe because there's the black church was as conservative as some people in the black church can be. It was a movement for social liberal change in terms of civil rights, whereas there was never a Latin church that had to move forward on liberal issues. Instead, they got to sort of be almost in some ways like the white Catholic church, where it's like, well, we can be pro-life because we don't have to be as concerned as the black church with advancing basic rights. Not to say they haven't had to at points in history, but they've never had as big a burden politically and socially as the black church. So they get to have one foot in like social conservatism and conservative economics, and as Brother Rod, now I'm going to get into Cornell, as Brother Rod has said on his podcast, Black Out Chips, very good, Brother Rod. He has said that without racism, many people in the black church might actually be conservative or Republican. They might vote Republican, but the racism forces them to the Democrat, neo-fascist, neoliberal, neo from the Matrix. So like, in other words, all kidding aside, that they have been able to just have like a la carte kind of political existence that black people have not really been able to have. And sometimes I just say, it feels like Latin people sometimes want to choose not to be white in terms of ethnicity or skin, but the white conservative path looks like one that praises them and makes them feel empowered, even if they are not as empowered as they might think. And choosing the other path makes them think, if I side with the liberals, will they just think of me as another person of color victim of America? Because that doesn't feel good.
That's true.
And I can understand psychologically, but I think that there is a real choice there that isn't possible for more black people to make, if they're being honest with the two choices in America.
Correct.
So yeah, that's you got a little Cornel West, and you got my treatise on Latino Americans.
I love it. And Democrats have some work to do, it seems.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.